We are here at Tulsa Women's Clinic, a place that murders babies 5 days a week. Right now, the parking lot is empty, and Kathleen, the abortionist, who comes to kill children after she gets off work at St. Francis, she just pulled in, but no one is here. No one is here right now because God just saved 2 babies in a row right outside Tulsa Women's. 2 babies were just saved. Right over here, a woman pulled in, came right here, and stopped and talked to McLean right here in the drive-thru, my wife. She's 41 years old and has high blood pressure, and she's the sole provider, and so she was just scared, and she came here to kill her child. And through talking with McLean for just a few minutes, they talked and she changed her mind, and she left so that she could go get an ultrasound at a medical facility, someplace that will actually help her. She was going to go into this place and kill her child, though she knew it was wrong. She was going to do it because your laws in your state and in my state say that she can murder her child. She was also going to do it because there was no one else calling out to her and asking her, please have mercy on her child, or offering her help or preaching the gospel to her. But because God's people were here at the gates of hell and stood up for the truth and pled for that baby's life and pointed this woman to Jesus, she changed her mind and has now left and is going to a medical facility that we helped her find. She's going to a resource center to get an ultrasound. While McLean is across the street over here talking with the mom, with this lady who ends up saving her baby, changing her mind, another couple pulls in from right down here. And they pull in and they stop and talk to me. I go up to them and they stop for a second and I talk to them. It's a young man and a young woman. They're maybe 20 years old or early 20s. And in just pleading with them and asking them or letting them know that this is a place that murders children. They don't offer any kind of medical help. And I gave them our bag that has our number on it and just pled with them, pointed them to Jesus, and then asked them if I could pray for them, and they both just started crying. So in praying for them, when we finished praying, Kathleen, the abortionist, had come here and was pulled up right behind them, and these people who stopped to talk to us and are changing their mind about killing their baby are blocking Kathleen from being able to come into the place. So she starts honking, and she's on the phone, presumably calling the police, because these people are, for a second, they're blocking the driveway because they want to talk and change their mind. But when we get through praying, I look at the mom and the dad, and both of them are weeping. And the dad says, we just want to leave. She just wants to leave. We need to leave. So then they pull out and drive right down this way and decided to have mercy on their child and to leave the gates of hell. The great thing is that Kathleen, the abortionist, got here, leaves her office over by St. Francis to come over here and make some extra money slaughtering children. She pulls in, most likely to kill those 2 babies, those people. We know that one of them had an appointment. I don't know if the second couple had an appointment, but God uses his people when his people will show up at the gates of hell and will plead for the lives of children, will preach the gospel and offer help. God uses that to save babies. And so I just want to ask you, do you want babies to be saved who are being carried off to death? Do you profess to be a believer in Jesus, but ignore his command in Proverbs 24:11 to rescue those being carried off to death? Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. Do you ignore that? Or do you submit to what God says in his word and say, God, help me. I want to do whatever I can to obey Jesus, because Jesus has rescued me, who was being carried off to death justly for my sin. In my smaller way, I want to rescue those who are being unjustly carried off to death for someone else's sin. When you do that, when you will go to the gates of hell and stand with other saints like we're standing here, offering help, pleading with people, God saves babies. He just saved 2 of them today. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Preach the gospel. God commands you to go and disciple the nations. He commands you to rescue those being carried off to death. Don't you want to joyfully submit to him in that? And when you do, if you do, God accompanies the faithfulness of his people, strengthens them, and God saves babies who would have otherwise been carried off to death. How can you get involved with ministry at the gates of hell, at murder mills? The simplest way is to figure out where the closest abortion clinic, murder mill, is to you, and then ask around and figure out who else is going there to plead and preach. And then figure out the best day of the week that you can go, and just go. Just stand and watch for the first few weeks. Stand and watch. You don't know what's going on maybe. Just watch and learn. And commit to going to rescue those being carried off to death, and watch while God saves babies. Grace and peace to you.